Looks
Perfect.
good.
And you're on with Michaela for 15 minutes.
Thank you so much. Hey, Michaela, thanks for talking to us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you voice the character Toph on Avatar: The Last Airbender, arguably one of the most influential characters in the show, and probably one of the most admired characters for everything that she did on the show, even though she couldn't see. And she really trained Aang quite a bit. So I'm interested in your experience of how you came to voicing the character and meeting fans of the character and what it's meant to them.
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy ride the past couple of years, but I came into, I guess, Toph earlier on after voice acting for a few years. I moved to Los Angeles with my mom back in '98, and we kind of stumbled into acting for me. And I started in voice acting and commercials and did a lot of background and kind of additional voice work. And then around the age of 10, 11, I started auditioning for more kind of name roles and booking more name roles. And so one of those happened to be Toph, and I guess they liked my vibe. And, when we were working on it, it was a very cool project. I was very grateful to kind of have a lead role in like a consistent, role on a series. But nobody knew how popular it was going to become and kind of how much people would love it. So when they put it on Netflix in 2020, it almost like gave permission for everybody to kind of fan over it again, because people did at the time, but there weren't forums for you to really talk about stuff like that. Now there's so much on social media and so much online, and there are like fan groups and fan pages and stuff like that, so it just didn't exist the same way. So when they put it on Netflix, it kind of allowed everybody to like fan over it again. And yeah, the fan interaction the last couple of years has been wild. It's been very crazy for me to like think about, because it's like, wait, have the last 15 years happened? Because it feels like we're talking about this from when I was 12, but now I'm 28. It's crazy. So yeah, it's been really cool kind of talking to everybody, and like you kind of mentioned, talking to people who had such like a positive influence from characters like Toph or Aang or Sokka, whatever, just in being kind of a badass despite the cards you were dealt, and kind of making them your superpower. And especially with Toph being a little bit of an unconventional female character, she loved just sleeping in, being messy, doing her own thing. There was no etiquette that she was trying to follow. She was kind of paving her own way. So it definitely allowed a lot of kids to be okay with who they really are and kind of making those unconventional choices, and being confident in that. So it's been really cool talking to all the different fans these last couple of years.
Yeah, and Netflix has definitely provided increased opportunities for these type of shows to sort of resurge after so many years. And of course, there's new series coming out, new films, some more live action takes as well, which is really getting fans reinvigorated. Do you have a favorite moment from voicing Toph over the years that sticks out to you?
I have a couple favorite episodes. I love Tales of Ba Sing Se and The Library. But gosh, there's so many. She's a one-liner queen. She has so many little jabs of, oh no, what a nightmare. Or, of course, the Melon Lord moment. I am Melon Lord. That one's, of course, become very popular over the past couple of years.
Yep.
Those stick out for sure. But yeah, they're all of her great lines are just little one-liners. So there's so many. They're all good. But yeah, those are a couple favorites.
Awesome. Yeah, and the Ba Sing Se episode is definitely one of my favorites as well. And that's one that always sticks out to me. And I only recently watched the series 2 years ago for the first time. So to the point of it coming out on Netflix, that was sort of like a push to be like, hey, you know what, it's time to watch this and check it out. Yeah. So fans of the character now have an opportunity to take some challenges from you through an app called Hyype Space. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what is Hyype Space as an app.
Sure. Yeah, so Hyype Space, like you mentioned, Hyype Space is a challenge-based app. So we've seen various kind of hashtaggy challenges going, through different social media platforms over the years. But Hyype Space wanted to kind of streamline that so that the only content is challenges on their app. And then the other thing is that it is all kind of positive and a safe space. So it's very family friendly, kid friendly, and just kind of positive encouragement. So the only interaction that users can have with the video submissions is clapping on them. So you can either clap, you can do a thunderous applause, but there's no commenting, no downvotes, anything like that. So it's kind of an encouraging space for maybe those who are a bit more timid to like participate online, or if they're just like, don't want to deal with any backlash, because who does?
Right.
Who enjoys that part? Yeah, so recently we just did a little bending challenge. So you could do like some martial arts, you could just like toss some rocks around in your backyard. It's really up to, whoever, to be creative and come up with your own idea for what you want to do for the challenge. And right now we have a little Halloween spooky spirit challenge going on, just to show like how you kind of get into the Halloween spirit with maybe a costume or decorations or makeup or any, carved pumpkins, things like that. So that one's not necessarily Avatar related. Then we have another more Avatar themed one for November, where you kind of pick your favorite scene and reenact it with a friend, or maybe you do like a monologue. So it's a bit of like an acting challenge. It's just a fun space that there's no downside to. And, the upside is you can actually win prizes, and it's audience based. So the audience, people who use the app kind of go through and kind of watch the submissions, and they can clap on their favorites, and and you can win prizes that way. But there's not like a downside to submitting and participating in a challenge. So
Yeah. So, and I looked through the previous challenge, and so people know it was people simply just doing the bending challenge with no props, no costumes, nothing, no special effects, and others who, did some trick of the camera to make things look like they're levitating and get really, really creative. So you have the flexibility to kind of do whatever you want with the way you submit the video. And you alluded to there's prizes that they could potentially win. So what is the prize list for the Halloween one that's coming due this Monday?
Yeah. So this one is purely cash based, which is nice. Everybody can use a little boost, especially as we head into the holidays. But it's $200, $150 for first, second, and third place. And that's just based off of like the number of claps by the end of the voting period. I think it closes on like November 3rd. So like you can submit all the way through the end of the night, Halloween, and then a couple days go by and people can watch all the submissions and clap on their favorites. And then whatever the final numbers are at the end, then you win some cash.
Awesome. Okay. And so fans can go to hyype.space, which is with two Y's, HYYPE.space, and download the app. And they can search for you under Michaela Murphy in Hyype Space. And they can follow you, and then that's where they can upload their video to enter. So for fans of yours and the characters that you've voiced, what are some upcoming projects or conventions that you have coming up that you want people to know about to come and see you, or shows for them to watch?
Sure. And I did just want to interject that the platform, my username is actually Michaela Mostly. It's the same one as my Instagram.
Oh, okay.
If you put Michaela Mostly, it'll probably show up too. But yeah, Michaela Mostly, I just use the same handle as my Instagram, and it's free to download, just to like throw that out there in the App Store and Google Play. So you don't have to worry about.
Awesome. Yeah. And we'll put a link in our video, in our write-up as well, so people can get right to it.
Cool. But yeah, coming up, I have 5 more conventions this year, which is crazy. Anime Texas is this coming weekend in Woodlands, Texas. Then I'm going to be at Fanboy Expo in Indianapolis, and then Anime Pasadena in Pasadena, Anime Dallas, another one in Texas, and then Cosplay Expo in Las Vegas. It's crazy. And then if you can't make it in person, you can obviously, participate in the challenges online on Hyype Space, or follow along on Instagram, that sort of thing. I did just finish up a video game that's coming out in the spring. I can't really tell you anything about it, but
okay.
Yes, it's being worked on right now. So I'm excited for that to come out. And I'm also working on a script that hopefully I can sell maybe during pilot season. It's kind of my first time going through those steps. So I'm excited and a little nervous, but it's exciting. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it sounds like you've got a really busy schedule just through the end of this year, which is great. I mean, you know, coming out of the pandemic, there were no conventions, which is really tough.
Yeah. And I didn't even know about them. I didn't know there were this many. I'd gone to like maybe 2 or 3 before, but I didn't know how crazy it is. And of course, obviously with Avatar being more popular again, there was more interest in having Avatar people, but I was like, whoa,
yeah,
lots of conventions. This is crazy.
yeah.
Like, it's been very cool.
Well, that's exciting, and of course, we'll keep an eye out for the video game once you can announce the titles and all the embargoes have lifted on that.
Yes.
So, where can people find you on social media?
Yes, so at Michaela Mostly, that's Michael with an A on the end, and then Mostly, Mostly, because it's mostly me. Ha ha ha. That's Instagram and Hyype Space. Those are my usernames. And then on TikTok, it's just my full name, Michaela Jill Murphy. And don't know why I have it different, but I do. And now I feel like I'm just going to keep it that way. So yeah, you can find me. And I usually post, you know, relatively frequently as far as like where I'm going to be and what things are coming up. And so that's definitely the easiest way to stay like up to date on what's going on with me, and also to know when the new challenges drop for Hyype Space stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today, and enjoy the rest of the conventions this year. And we'll be on the lookout for all the new items that you have coming out. And again, everybody should go to hyype.space, check out the challenges, and remember to submit by the end of the day on Halloween so you can participate in this challenge.
Yes.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much, Michaela. You have a good day.
Of course, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.